Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to chat to you today. Thanks so much for taking the time. I love this movie. For people who haven't seen Sunlight yet, though, can you give us a brief intro? What can people expect when they come to see your movie?
A road trip love story set in New Mexico between a DJ who's kind of on the edge of life and a woman who doesn't want to come out of a monkey suit. So it's dysfunctional. It's funny. It's like dark and weird. It takes the weird quite seriously.
Yeah, yeah. It looks silly on paper, but it's actually, I think it has some depth to it beyond what you might expect from a movie that has a woman in a monkey suit as the central character.
And tell us about the roots of this, because, you know, both been working in comedy for so long, but also on these characters in kind of an improv kind of style. So how did that idea, these characters, come to be in this feature film that we see today?
Yeah, well, we met on the comedy circuit, but we'd never worked together before, and we got cast in a 50-hour-long improv show where you stay awake the whole time. And Nina had just gotten that monkey suit, and we ended up working a lot, and we kind of found each other as a safe place, because it's a strange thing to stay awake for that long. I don't know. We just started kind of gravitating towards each other and going up on stage together. And then after we sort of survived that experience, Nina said, "Do you want to do some gigs?" And we started doing stand-up as kind of improvised stand-ups as Monkey and Roy.
But I was wearing that suit in that long improv, and I think there was something about the way that monkey character, I just wanted to say the name Roy the whole time. He's just going, "Roy, we do this, Roy," because he was doing the character Roy in this improv thing too. So Roy and Monkey like met on stage, and then Monkey invited Roy to make a movie. It was kind of just a very organic process.
And at what point did you have the idea to make a movie out of it? And I guess once you already had the characters, that's your starting point. But how did you then form the narrative and the setting, etc.?
I was on a plane. Something about buckling up on a plane, where I always have an idea, something about being about to be launched into the sky. And just before takeoff, before you lose your phone signal, I remember texting Shenoah, "Do you want to make a film?" And a bit of a risk. "Do you want to make a love story with me? Do you want to make a film about a woman in a monkey suit and the love story with a weird impediment like this?" And I think you said yes before the plane took off, which was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting proposition. And then we started meeting regularly, improvising in Nina's house, and she would put the monkey suit on, and we would set up one of our phones to record ourselves and start improvising dialogue. And then over time, it made sense for me to write the screenplay and Nina to direct the movie, and found sort of a balance of work that way. But I say that Nina had everything to do with the screenplay also.
But the film kind of just grew itself. I mean, we've had our assigned roles, but we're both all over, our fingerprints are all over each other's roles all the way through, because we were just sculpting this thing together day by day.
And in terms of kind of, the genre it sits in, I guess like you're saying, kind of a road movie, definitely a dark comedy. The tone, is very unique. And there's a real sort of like surreal quality to it. Yet we do feel like we're really spending time with these two people, especially, in the van. So were there other films you were thinking of that you'd watched that sort of fed into it, whether that's in the genre or the tone or the look of it?
I mean, we were all about protecting our own tone in a way. So we were sometimes scared to reference or watch a ton of road movies. Felt like no, let's not watch any road movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it felt almost annoying when you see things and they go, "Oh no!" So you kind of want to keep some distance from things that might be in a similar vein. But that's not to say we're not on the shoulders of giants. Also, I mean, we have our film influences.
I was loving Waves at the time, which is like nothing to do with this film at all, other than it being sort of low budget and very kind of heartfelt. I loved that film, Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, and Eternal Sunshine.
And Eternal Sunshine.
They both have son in the title. I don't know if that was a subconscious leading to our title, but.
And it looks like you must have had so much fun on this shoot. Maybe tell us about, filming in New Mexico, working with the locals. What were some of the highlights, but maybe did things go wrong now and then?
It was lovely. I mean, I was a fish out of water. Shenoah's from there, but the crew knew each other already, which was fantastic. And there was a small and agile crew.
When it came to the writing, that helped a lot to have that as a reference point, because I could really see the place as I was writing, just kind of descriptive stuff and where and how it really helps to. Two things for me to write are being able to see the environment and hear the voice of the character. And Nina's voice as Monkey is so distinctive. And once I got to know that voice, it was a real pleasure to get to kind of, I don't know, get to drive that car around a little bit in my mind, and try to find ways to be true to the Monkey character. And then, of course, when Nina takes it back, then she makes it her own and chooses the words that she wants to. And yeah, New Mexico, I think it has such a beautiful open landscape, and we really wanted that.
Well, it's just that, like, were there any is it ever like challenging, I mean, yeah, even having to be inside a vehicle a lot and being on the road, I don't.
Yeah, that vehicle was like belonged to Shenoah's father, fixed by Shenoah's cousin. Really didn't know if we were going to have a car that could work on the road in this road movie, and no budget to tow it. So it was a wing and a prayer, and it was like a meant to be thing. It literally drove for the duration of the film and then stopped driving.
Yeah.
She said,
I don't think
that was it. Then it gave up.
Yeah.
It was so frightening, but it was wonderful. It was like a big sort of spaceship of a thing. Those windows are incredible, and yeah, it was just great. It made so many noises, like the chairs like really squeaked, and I just remember being covered in fur, hard to breathe, small eye holes, and just and the sound of the car starting. I don't know. It was a vibe. I remember it well.
And how much do you continue to improvise? I mean, I guess you work on a script, but then on set, I guess if you're in that mode of always improvising, does that kind of remain? And is it something, like do a few different takes, or maybe in the edit you sort of shape it, or do you kind of stick to the script that you'd written?
Kind of all of
those things, yeah. There were some scenes that are completely improvised, and then there are some that are completely scripted. And there are some that were created in the edit.
We definitely left the door open to improvisation through the shooting process. And that was kind of a critical thing for us. That was really important all the way through, to make sure that we were able to do that. And by then, we knew we had the screenplay, and we knew what was meant to happen in each scene. And we knew it all so well that it was we knew we could leave and come back, because we knew the points that we had to hit. Yeah.
And you can feel like the truthfulness, because we're dealing with something that looks just like a monkey. The truthfulness is so important. So that has to drive the whole thing. And if it ever feels like goofy or too weird, or we haven't done it with dignity, then we would have to reverse out of the scene and go, okay, let's just forget everything and go in and just be guided by it feeling real. And that suicide role play was a case in point. And also the one, when Monkey's holding Roy, the die in my arms scene, and then the other one outside the van after they have that little moment, and they're trying to figure it out. We had to kind of re-enter those a couple times.
Do you ever like crack each other up as well? I mean, when you're improvising, someone says something that you're not expecting them to say, and you have to like...
Yeah, yes.
Contain the laugh.
Nina makes me laugh endlessly. But on the reverse side, there's a huge joy for me in seeing that monkey start to shake and hearing Nina's laugh come out of that head when the mouth isn't moving is something that is very dear to me.
And that whole song was spontaneous. That wasn't in the script. That just came out of one of our scenes. And then when you're filming, there's this little bit of road where there's not enough time to do the scene again, but you've got like a minute of road before you get back to base camp. We just like keep jamming on the holes every time when we got to that bit.
And yeah, but coming to the soundtrack, I mean, you got Radiohead, Pixies, Aphex Twin. I mean, yeah, I mean, you have to get their permission, right? You can't just play them. And for a like sort of indie movie, that's pretty great. So how did you kind of get that on board, or what did you want the music to add emotionally to the narrative?
I was very, very hungry for those tracks. I worked really, really hard to get them and to reach the artist in each occasion and get approval, because we didn't have the budget for those at all. And so when they gave us permission every time, it was just like, oh my God, I was jumping up and down. I was so excited because I just got so attached to them. I'd used them in the edit and I just couldn't bear to lose the flavor they brought. That was just hard graft. That was asking anyone, does somebody have a kid who's at the school? Of someone, is there a neighbor that has the same agent? It was like literally that kind of thing. 6 degrees of weird fishes.
Amazing. And as you were saying in the beginning, I guess, this sort of the silly veneer of the film and, the kind of surreal aspect to it. But there is this kind of emotional undercurrent of these two kind of lost souls trying to find their way or escape their darkness. So what do you think maybe some of the themes might be that run through it? And what do you think maybe some of those sort of weightier threads that run through the film might be?
Well, I think that there's definitely a thread of finding a sense of one's own identity and finding a way to survive, and finding, I guess, a caution to the wind kind of freedom.
Yeah, that's nice. And there being no path to that freedom that's too stupid. It's like a real commitment to anything, like however ridiculous that seems, like that might be the route to your voice.
And I know it already played in Edinburgh Film Festival. It's had like incredible reviews. What has that meant to you? Have any of the reactions surprised you? And how excited are you for it to get a UK cinema release now?
I was so excited. I can't even, if I say how excited I am, it'll be obnoxious. I'm like so relieved and heartful for it. It was 7 years in the making.
Yeah, we've been with this thing for a long time. So yeah, it's so nice to get to have it out in the world and doing these screenings. We're doing a lot of Q&As with them, and it's really nice to get people's responses and reactions to it, because we've lived kind of in a shell with it for so long, and we know we love it, but to see people kind of connect with it and bring their own reaction to it is very gratifying. And geez Louise, has it been a long journey? So it's like,
I know,
oh
it's
man.
like finding a little thing in the forest and there's all these huge buses going past these other films, and you just like, you have to get it there, and you have to feed it little trips, and it's like, don't let anyone else touch it, because it's, it's like, that's what it felt like. And now it's up and running, and it's just like such a relief.
And when you've been sat in the screening rooms watching it, with other people, do they laugh where you expect them to laugh? Or, did you have any weird questions in any of the Q&As?
Q&As have been fun, actually.
Yeah. No, people laugh it's interesting to see how people laugh in different spots, because we both come from the live comedy world. So it's funny to see that the film can sort of have a different kind of night. Night to night, where you sort of, as a live comedian, you sort of think that's on you all the time. And I never blame the audience. I always think, well, I either connected to the audience or I didn't. But I think the film is connecting with people, but it's interesting to see them kind of react differently in different places, and they unify and laugh at different things together, night to night.
I mean, it's quite uproarious, I've got to say, like, but you don't know which way it's going to be. So you think, well, that got a big laugh last time, that's going to go, and then they don't, but they laugh at the line after as much as and just what are the variables? Is it something about this room? What? Why? Or this collective consciousness just like aligned a different way tonight?
And what are you going to be doing next? Are you going back to doing more of your live comedy? Now you've got the sort of taste for filmmaking, feature filmmaking. Are you going to do another one of these? What's going to be next?
Going back to the forest to find another little.
It's another little thing to feed.
Yeah.
We have a few ideas. So yeah,
Don't want to
we're not at liberty to say.
Yeah, I got
Yes.
it. No problem. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. Huge congrats on this wonderful film, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. Thanks so much.